Okie dokie then. Hello everyone. Welcome back to more Final Fantasy XIV Online, where last time we had stream issues. We figured out what is the cause of the end of days. It is a Medion. I'm not entirely sure if she's possessed by something or not, or if just the revelations of what they found in space kind of just influenced her. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe a little column A, little maybe column B. But yeah. Hermes was dumb and decided to wipe everyone's memory of it. Though we did learn that in the very end, when one returns to the Aether, they may remember the memories that they lost. So there's that. Oh boy. And on our way back from learning about all of this, to let our friends know what's happened, the end of days came to Garlemald. Which, you know, is bad enough until we learn that Fortuno here, upon learning that there is a faster way to the moon than the shuttle that they are currently making, thought to migrate everyone from Razathan that decided that they wanted to leave, decided to migrate them here so that they could more easily transport them. Again, unfortunately, end of days happened. So, no, that didn't end well. That did not end well at all. Things looked very bleak until the Scions of the Seventh Dawn showed up to help try to turn the tide, which they did. We got to play as Alphino and Alizé for a bit. But then again, things took another turn until we showed back up and kicked ass. Hell yeah. That's pretty much where we left off. Oh, and Zenos showed back up just to say hi. And pretty much let Jules know that, yeah, it was all his fault. What happened with Garlemald. So yeah, that's fun. It's fun stuff, right? Oh, and I did forget. I have a letter. Delivery Moogle. You have a thing for me? Look what we have here. A new letter is arrived for you, Kupo. Boop. Thank you for playing Final Fantasy XIV. Enclosed is a naming way, minion. No, you won't change your name whenever you like. Take it. Yes. Yes, I will take the naming way. I got this through one of the gifts that my friends got me for my birthday. The Eorzean Companion, I believe it is a very cool book. And now I have a little naming way companion. Heck yeah. No, I need the minions. Yes, yes. Come, little naming way. Oh, yeah, the gemstone trader. I need to do more of the actual... Freaking... Not raise, but, these... I'm just drawing a blank now. What they're called, but I need to do more of them in order to unlock more. But let's talk to our friends and see what's going on. I need to let them know what exactly we found out in the past. It's been a while since we last spoke. For some time I was not myself. Lucy and the others told me what happened that night, and about the events that took place while I was receiving treatment. It was only then I realized the lengths you and yours go to. I know I might never be able to repay you, but I'll be damned if I don't try. And most of all, I want to thank you. All of you. For everything you've done and continue to do for the sake of my people. Yeah. At the very least, I'm glad our own members are accounted for. That the final day should manifest here too, after everything these people have suffered, is a fate cruel beyond words. Nevertheless, with allies old and new at our side, there is yet reason to be hopeful. This is the contingent base of operations, I take it. We couldn't save them all, but if we'd arrived any later, it would have been a massacre. Things were looking bleak until you and the first turned up. Though there'll be time later to discuss your journey to the first, there's one thing I must ask. Did you perchance speak with our friends at the Crystarium? Yep, I did. Lena and Beck-Luke both warned me against overexerting myself. Strange that they would express such similar sentiments. Identical, in fact. But their advice is duly noted. To see Zeno standing there, so uncaring and unrepentant. Gods, I don't know what came over me. I just blurted out the first thing that came to mind. But looking back on it, I stand by those words. I would say I hope they won't incite him to further villainy, but to be honest, I doubt he even remembers what I said. Anyway, enough about all that. It's good to see you again. Hell yeah, I'm back. Potential new weapon? Don't mind if I do. We'll do that. It is better. Better than the manganese. And then we update, and then we look. It is still very... I think this one looks a bit more steampunky, which is fine. It's fine. It's fine. We still need to quiz you about your time on the first. If we ever get more than a moment's respite. Lucy is taking stock of the present situation.
No major injuries then. Good. I briefed the recovered soldiers and sent them on their way as quickly as I could, but nevertheless feared they would not make it in time.
The additional support was invaluable. Your men saved more than a few lives. Though not all, I regret to say.
I take it that I'm addressing Lucia Junius. I'm the Forum's envoy, Fortuneau Leveilleur. And you are owed an explanation for these most dire developments.
Another trial wrought by the final days. I was beginning to suspect as much. You doubtless feel some consternation having been forced to abandon your original plan. But trust me when I say you were right to send the refugees elsewhere. beasts have been sighted within the capital. Perhaps it was a stroke of grim fortune that the population was decimated beforehand, as they've yet to appear in any great number, but in time. In any case, Maxima leads the remainder of the contingent in an effort to cull the creatures and evacuate the populace as we speak. Once the airships have taken to the skies, I pray your men can be persuaded to join him.
You'll permit us to retain our weapons?
I wouldn't have sent you after the Scions were I expecting you to stab them in the back.
And I, for one, would not consider past transgressions more relevant than future contributions.
True.
Regardless of the circumstances that saw us at odds before, we need men of courage now, more than ever.
Oh, buddy. We all agree.
We swore to defend Garlemald, and so we shall.
It seems you have everything under control. You will excuse me then, for mine own duties await.
That's
A
fine.
moment, Master Fortuneau.
Oh.
You did desire to express your appreciation for services rendered, did you not?
I did. Though if you intend to again ask that Charlian alter its course, you will find my gratitude insufficient.
'Tis nothing so onerous. I wish to hear the details of this grand endeavor of yours.
Do you swear to listen and to learn, and not to embark upon some scheme to impede us?
We've never actually tried to impede you. We just tried to get you to change your course, or to figure out what the hell is going on.
Any
You
other
stubborn
I
man.
doubt. You I trust to keep your word. For not once have you broken it. Very well. I will request that the Forum make you privy to our plans. You may await our summons at the Baldessian Annex, assuming the decision is in your favor. Does that suffice?
It does. You have my thanks.
Excellent. You can regale us with tales of your most recent sojourn to the First while we wait. Did you hear something just now?
I like that. No. Oh no. Oh no! What happened to the bunny?
Where is this star's blasted pudding?
Hi, Pudding Way. Oh, they all came here. Okay. Did Urian J talk them into doing this? What are we doing?
Dawn
It's like a little zombie.
even the darkest night. And to this bitter clime bring warmth and comfort.
Trying to keep an eye on where that little zombie buddy is.
'tis heartening to see such an assembly upon my return. I thought often of you whilst I looked down upon our star's brilliance from the moon above.
Hey, Urianger.
Yes, but what are you doing here? And dressed like that? Aren't you cold?
Yeah. You're one to talk, Alize.
I fear for my health should I proceed to expound upon our purpose, ere I procure more suitable garments.
God damn it.
Then allow me to summarize. We're here because none of you lot are up there. Nor has anyone deigned to send word about any changes in the plans. It's rude, is what it is. At least that's what I thought at first, but then folks got to wondering if you weren't in a spot of bother, so we decided to take matters into our own hands. Come down here and help, if our help be needed. So she says, but it's also something of a convenient excuse to visit Atheris. Urianger made it sound absolutely marvelous. More so before the impending doom, but still. And it's not like there will ever be a better time. What with the aforementioned doom?
Marvelous, they say, yet not an ounce of pudding to
Oh
be
my-
found. I must suffer Urianger's inferior works no more.
Hey! Maybe consider the plight of present company before you go blathering on about pudding and doom? Ahem. As I was saying, should you require any assistance with whatever, we are at your disposal.
With whatever. I like the
We were
buddy
born
folk.
from Heidelin's love for the lives of this star, so naturally we would much prefer to see them continue. Twiddling our thumbs up on the moon is hardly conducive to that, though, is it? Not when you've all got such precious thoughts and feelings and hopes for the future deserving of more active preservation. Speaking to Urianger made us realize that while we've carried out our duties to the letter, we've failed to fulfill them in spirit. From there, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump towards resolving to do better. So please, show us how. Help us help you.
Duh. This is his first. I think this is his first time witnessing them. Yep.
Thy distant collaborators, indeed.
Hail, fellow, well met. You'd be a member of the Forum, would you? It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you at last. I'm Livingway, Heidelin's right paw. That last bit is very important. As am I, if I may humbly say so myself.
I bid you welcome to our star, Livingway. On behalf of the Forum, I thank you for traveling such a distance to meet us. As you have surmised, preparations for the Exodus have not proceeded as smoothly as we had hoped. I should be happy to personally escort you to our headquarters in Charlian, where you may advise us as you deem fit.
'Twas with reluctance that I set aside the great work of readying the moon for habitation. Be assured that I did so only after the Loperids made plain their earnest desire to come hither, and I myself felt a growing certainty that their contributions here would prove invaluable.
I trust you on that,
'Tis
honestly.
trite, perhaps, but I followed my heart.
Hell yeah. May thy disciples banish this darkest of nights.
I am no esteemed philosopher of eld. Nevertheless, 'tis my hope that what little knowledge I shared shall serve them well, and perchance help save us all.
That'd be nice too.
Wilt thou attend us at the Forum and lend thine own wisdom?
Yeah.
If that's all quite settled, can we start moving before Urianger catches his death? Even I'm freezing out here.
Oh, I dare say you'll warm up quickly once you report the airship. Sat shoulder to shoulder with our fur-covered friends.
Yeah. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Oh, just fast travelers. Thank you. That's very nice of you, game. Although everyone went on ahead. Oh, I guess I need to talk to her, Jay. I dare say Master Fortuno was as nonplussed as we to learn the identity of Heidelin's lunar custodians. As he will soon discover, they had much and more to offer the Forum. Might I suggest we return to the Annex forthwith? We may yet have time to discuss thy recent adventures ere we are summoned to the rostra. I love Charlene so much. I am still waiting for the eventual housing. There's got to be housing here eventually. I think this place has my favorite look, as well as my favorite music of any town so far. Here we go. Not that I'm complaining, Urianger, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Ethris, I did inadvertently awaken in the Loporits a desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Kral tells us you have obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I've news to share regarding our study of the ethereal sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, and so I would rather hear them first. To what revelations did Heidelin's Elpis flower lead? Yep, here we go! Here we go! Finally. Let's get down to business. Then this dynamis is what drives the final days. And if it and the Akasa are one and the same, this all but proves Nidana's theory. When entity through sheer force of emotion to channel this vast dormant reservoir into a raging river, its power might surpass even that of Aether. But if our star is so replete with Aether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamis of the Great Expanse. Meteon. Or rather the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she had been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred, drawn from every corner of the universe, all for a single purpose, the destruction of Ethris. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. We have but one aim, to defeat Meteor. You make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Vanquish Meteon and we deliver the world from the final days. But to even attempt it, there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Meteon escaped, an enchantment was placed on her by Vena, the woman who would become Heidelin. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, so we cannot assume that our Heidelin and the Vena you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I'd wager that Heidelin possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Ethris, not to stay. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Meteon? Venana would have never given up. That's my impression too. Otherwise, she wouldn't have used me as a conduit for her will, or provided clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. So what's the second condition actually getting to her? We must find a means to reach Meteon, and I think the bunnies are the answer. Naturally, our chosen method will depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest. Then communing with Heidelin must by necessity come first. Did you and Master Matoya have any luck with your investigation into the Ethereal Sea? Sadly not. Though we enlisted the help of Arnvald and other Echo-blessed allies, we couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Heidelin, even from within the Anti-Tower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Heidelin. If so, it would most likely be some form of apparatus for observing the Ethereal Sea, built closer to home. And speaking of that, sorry to interrupt, we just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the Rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. Then Father was able to persuade them. They're finally taking us seriously. Let's find what they have to... Let's... Oh my god, I can't read today. Let's hear what they have to say. To think the Crystal Tower the First is capable of such feats as sending one's soul into the distant past. The events he witnessed and helped shape may yet hold the key to forestalling the final days. I'm reminded of the dear friends in a future I unmade, whose selfless efforts saw the 8th Umbral Calamity averted. In this timeline, at least. Too much has been sacrificed for us to abandon Ethris now. After sending Graha and Estinian back to Garlemald, I stayed in Locus Amarronus for a time. Being an imperial province, it was already in turmoil before the onset of the final days. You wouldn't believe the difficulties we had over seeing the evacuation of the villages we visited. I have faith the detachment left behind will continue our work and shepherd the people to safety. To what safety can be found in a world coming to an end. Master Matoya has suspected for some time that the Forum has been constructing a new facility for the purpose of surveying the Ethereal Sea. Of course, as the custodians of the Anti-Tower, which would presumably be rendered obsolete as a result, she has a few things to say about that. Nothing that should be repeated in polite company, you understand? After you left for Garlemald, I went to Labyrinthos and tried to reach Heidelin using the Elpis flowers. Alas, my attempts were in vain. I can only assume that she spent a vast amount of her power in the confrontation with Van Daniel and is presently unable to communicate. Indeed, as her presence left my body, I could feel how faint it had grown. I hope you don't mind me staying behind while you attend your big meeting. The Rostra reminds me a bit too much of the supremely scary tribunal in Ishgard. You'll forgive me if I keep my distance. Father has granted us the opportunity we've been waiting for, though we know not what information, if any, they intend to reveal. There's only one way to find out. To the Rostra. Well, that was a much quicker response than I was expecting. Nice to know our efforts on the Magna Glacius didn't go unnoticed. At first, I wasn't sure what to make of Hermes and his motives. But it's like we discussed at the Great Work. When faced with the harsh realities of life, some seek the release of death. Others grow defiant. They fight. Either way, it is our right to choose. 'Twas Heidelin's commandment that in the event Zodiac would perish, the Loporits were to deliver the people of Ithras from harm. Though that be the limit of their duties, they possess knowledge unparalleled of the great expanse and the means of its traversal. Should they be persuaded to assist in our efforts to reach Meteon, we would do well to heed their counsel. Alright, let's go to the Rostra. Rostra. Forum is in session. As such, the Rostra is closed to visitors. We've been told to come, though. Scion of the Seventh Dawn. Very well, you may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door. Lest you forget, this sacred institution holds rational discourse in the highest. The implements of war are expressly forbidden. What are they talking about? There's no one in session there. Liar. Rabble, 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 rabble. What are you thinking, Alphino?
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter. We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
Hey. I trust you.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, The ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, at their request, on the Great Exodus. You may enter. On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glacies. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzat-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenor and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies. Radzat-Han was foremost among these, but since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
As many as we can.
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Oh, God.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
7 hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
Talk to the Loporits. They've been doing this for millennia now.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem? We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
"'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the Anti-Tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino. Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself. Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration. I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Hell yeah. It's always good to have an ally in these things.
Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms?
Okay. This looks like at least a majority. Okay.
71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it.
Oh.
Fortuno, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal
Oh yeah, he
experience,
didn't raise his hand at all.
This is the will of the Forum.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Ah! Alright, let's just talk to the Loprits. This is easy. Rest assured, I have every intention of honoring the Forum's decision. My affinity for espionage may have earned me the title of Archon, but I was completely unaware of the Forum's plans. There may have been clues here and there, had I been of a mind to look for them, but contemplating that possibility only serves to further wound my pride. Not that anyone could have realistically surmised that their brilliant stratagem was to build a giant ship, fly to the moon, a still larger vessel in truth, and use that to travel to another star. Even now, the whole idea seems positively absurd when spoken aloud. Of late, I have seen no sign of the Loprits. This being their first opportunity to experience the wonders of Charlian, the potential for misadventures lie infinite. Perhaps if Midgar's son was still alive, in the traditional sense that is, he could have offered to help the vessel attain the necessary speeds. Then again, there's no guarantee his contribution would have been enough of a difference to matter. The further we pursue the mysteries of the universe, the more I struggle to comprehend the fortuitous nature of time itself. We measure and quantify it based on observations of celestial bodies such as the sun and moon, but from your account it is unclear whether the ancients viewed time in a similar manner. I mention this because while Venat knew the final days would reoccur at a defined point in the future, she presumably had no way of knowing exactly when. Even so, the completion of the Forum's preparations to the escape to the moon, aligning so closely with the advent of the final days, is surely no coincidence. I'm a little vexed that we've yet to learn of the Forum's placement for the anti-tower, though I expect that in time they'll share that too with us. And with Master Matoy if they have any sense. I'll admit, bringing up the issue of the Forum's incomplete arc was more than a little daunting. They were, to their credit, quite open about the current state of affairs. What was even more surprising, though, was when they took Alphino up on his offer. While I very much take issue with the Forum's approach to selecting whom to save and when, they're not wrong for wanting to minimize potential conflicts. Fortunately, if this plan of ours actually works, the Great Exodus itself will become entirely unnecessary. Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I was admittedly thinking on my feet for the most part. But since we require both a means of communing with Hydaelyn and reaching Medion, in the spur of the moment I saw involving ourselves with the completion of the Ark as a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. However, we must first keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the Aetherburner. I'd like to think it not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. It might behoove us to learn how an Aetherburner actually works before we attempt to improve it, though. As Father seems eager to help, maybe we can have him educate us about the Aetherburner. Going underground, Fortuno's ability to maintain a stiff upper lip is being sorely tested. As instructed, I shall take you to see the Aetherburner. Meet me outside the Archeon. I trust you can make your own way there. Yes, sir. So the Ark is being built in Labyrinthos. Hardly surprising. Where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? Bum, bum, bum. I don't understand the appeal of reshaping it to look like the world above. Make your peace with what it is, or go outside if that's what you prefer. That we have been granted permission to enter the lower levels is proof of our increased standing. Would that they had been willing to confide in us a little sooner. Among the many and varied documents sent to the moon, I did chance upon several inventories made in the Archeon. Maybe the Forum believes such records would provide insight into the intricacies of clerical duties. Regardless, the Loports did not consider them worthy of more than a cursory glance. It has been many moons since I last visited Labyrinthos. As vast as the archives were back then, they've only continued to grow in the days since. Some would surely object to the Forum allowing foreign elements to have the run of their secret facilities. We should count ourselves lucky. When once we were refused entry, we are now welcomed as guests. Crown. Do they intend to carry everything in the Archeon to the moon? They said they'd started loading scientific records and biological samples, but do they really need all of it? It seems so long ago we first set foot here. True. I'm a little too far away, sorry. Our destination lies in the lower levels. The Forum, in its wisdom, has granted you access to the Archeon's lift. Finally! Step inside and have Ophiline take you to the medial circuit. Yes! We have access to the lower levels. To the elevator. We don't have to go through the frickin' caves anymore. Hallelujah! Yeah, what do you have to say, huh? In accordance with the Exodus protocol, access to the Atheon is where they has been suspended indefinitely. Cooperation, understand? Yeah, frick you. Hello! I would like to go down, please. You wish to use the lift, yes? Yes. Thank you. I have seen your associates ahead to Logisticon Alpha, on the other side of the Miriel Ergonomics. Actually, there is something I've been meaning to... No. Never mind. It can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. Okay. We're going farther on. Wonderful. Oh, I gotta go this way. Whoops. We're 10 levels ahead. Does that mean we don't have to fight it? No, it just means we now have a wider, or a shorter, I guess, not wider, breath we can take before they start to get aggressive with us. Whee! Oh, hop. Go through the door, I guess? Okay, I do. Good, good. Did I accidentally pass when I should have? No, it's more to the southwest, so more this way. Okay, we're fine. The fields we passed along the way brought back memories of Ferndale. Unfortunately, we have never blessed with such abundant crops. We must be close to the central circuit, which is where Charlene's greatest secrets are held. If the tomes I perused told the whole story... On our journey here, I was filled with an inexplicable sense of elation to see vegetables other than carrots being cultivated. Why, it near brought a tear to mine eye. Knowing the Forum, even the people working down here are probably kept in the dark about the true purpose of this place. I wonder what this place is actually for. Oh, there you are. Having words with Master Farshino by any chance? Not really. He wants to, but... I guess we put it on hold for now. We are to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. here being Logisticon Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. Water is drawn from underground and dispersed as vapor, stimulating the formation of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? Why, Father brought me here as a child. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind when you went off somewhere with Grandfather. The night before, I had been asking Father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. It was all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world, to grow inured to the wondrous. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Loporrits in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such processes in a new light. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient Zodiac, the habitations built for all mankind beneath the moon's surface, each unique, yet undeniably similar. 'Tis no mere coincidence. Oh. Yo. Ever since Heidelin unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits Ithris, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos in preparation for the great exodus. But that is not all. It is also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on distant stars. Though the Loporrits have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable, that is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life, where there is none, to thrive where all is barren. Alas, time is not on our side. I have arranged for you all to enter the Central Circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark amongst them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions and will have free reign to come and go as you please. Such is the will of the Forum, after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust. Your trust. Then let us proceed. You got this, Alphino. So we can just go down now? Alright, Hester, we need to go down. By decree of the Forum, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn are permitted to enter the Central Circuit. Yes. Ooh. Ah. Where's that Aether? You know what? You guys stay here. I'll be right back. Okay. quests. For now, though, we will just go back. The temperate environment here is not unlike the Bestways burrow, though diverse vegetation doth produce a far more complex bouquet of aromas. Welcome difference indeed, for I have grown weary of the scent of carrots. Oh, Urianger. He is traumatized by carrots. Sooner we get a look at the aether burner of theirs, the sooner we can start working out how to improve it. We might finally have the chance to commune directly with Heidelin, provided we somehow manage to succeed where Charlene's finest engineers have failed. Still, it won't hurt to have a look. There it is, the Central Circuit. I imagine the secrets kept here would be of great benefit to mine own research, but I refrain from indulging my curiosity for the time being. I have no idea what makes Alphino so confident we can solve this problem of theirs. Relentless optimism, I presume. An unwelcome trait in a youth, but less so in a gambler. Aye. Let us resolve never to let him set foot in the gold saucer. Oh no. The farther down we travel, the more expensive the sky above becomes. Or expansive, not expensive. Expansive. Artificial though it is. Would that the heavens elsewhere would be so idyllic. Please tell me we're almost there. Or is there another underground level we have to reach? The even more central circuit, perhaps? The aether burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Kokol Dunkol, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars. This way. Okay. Surely the Forum hath already petitioned the aid of the Loprids, given their familiarity with such technologies. I would think, right? That's what I'm saying. He looks lost in thought, though it seems he's hit something of a stumbling block. Is he talking to himself? For a closely guarded secret, you can see particularly everything from outside, even with the magical barriers surrounding it. Perhaps you'd like to break the ice? I was expecting this guy's steel manufactory, but instead I find the village smithy. While many of the facilities within the central circuit seem to be visible from the upper levels, the more secretive work must be carried out behind closed doors. He hasn't even realized we're here. Or perhaps he has realized, but just doesn't care. This is the man we seek. Do try not to startle him. I'll try.
I could swap them out. No, been there, done that. Damn near lost my eyebrows. Think, Coco, think! We'd be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think!
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, Master Force, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse. Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
Not seen you lot down here before.
There are Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding. Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect.
Also, Graha's knowledge of the Allegan technology, since they can also go to space.
The conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient. A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Hast thou consulted with the Loperids?
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
You know of it?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ends like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though. We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the Northern Empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with. Drive calls from Ragnarok-class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. According to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up.
Hey, I guess that's where we come in. Cockle is
It's
the
rough
best.
going in there, even for the cream.
I like him so far.
I'm sure they'd make it out alive.
Well, we can.
Weren't we near that part of the Ragnarok when we went to destroy Bahamut?
I'm gonna go and fetch the Watsits.
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather,
Okay.
if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours. What's all this?
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward.
Yeah, he said the thing.
This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
Also, hi, Lucian.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-foot expedition myself.
They're getting help from
Are you
everybody.
aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of heat.
Also, where the heck's been Sid?
Any
I don't think
extant
we've seen him
instrumentation
much
or
this
devices would
entire
likely found
expansion,
their
have
way
we?
into the hands of etherologists or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad. Any road, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal. Why the source like that with the ether burner? And 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need. to
I
finish your
love this
starship.
so much.
I am glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Oh, Serena.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking. And I'm a born plunderer.
God damn it, Scarred.
I'll be an old Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
God damn it.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way. Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
Yay! Oh, it's raining. Only thing I hate about my scythe is that it goes right through my umbrella, damn it. Oh god, the music. Ishtola. I'm confident that even the deadliest of Allegan defense mechanisms are no match for our allies. At this rate, some of them might soon have as many accomplishments to their name as a certain warrior fight. Time and time again, it seems that Allegan something or other are either the cause of or the solution to our problems. I think the self-same materials that once launched Dalamud will now be used to help ferry mankind to the moon. It's poetry at that. Considering how much of a fuss he made at the time, I don't see why he takes every opportunity to bring it up. It was just firewood. Festa to Laferoy, and now the final days. No one can accuse the Ilsabard contingent of backing down from a challenge. Of course, they weren't all so committed to the cause when they first set out. But after seeing the example set by you, Alphino, and the others, the change was palpable. They couldn't help but believe. What serendipitous irony that the remnants of the 7th Umbral Calamity would become the keys to mankind's salvation. Never more certain have I been that Master Louis So watcheth over us from the ethereal sea. There are no oaths or contracts binding the members of the Ilsabard contingent, and in many ways it was even more loosely organized than the Crystal Braves. Nevertheless, I knew none would refuse this call to arms. Truly, we have been blessed with trustworthy and dependable allies. Appreciate you doing all this, but I ain't getting my hopes up just yet. Though Bahamut is long gone, the internment hulks are far from safe. It could be much worse, of course. They won't have to fight their way past Myrcidian dragons, nor is there any danger the Elder Primal might be summoned again. Even so, I dare say there are still a fair few Allegan creations and contraptions remaining to bar our friend's way. I only hope the grandfather watches over them. In times like these, we're reminded of how famous, or infamous, Alphino has become. Who would have thought he could achieve so much with a single Link Pro conversation? As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I also have to contact my own... a contact of my own that might be worth a try. Okay. Oh? And who might that be? That's for me to know and you to find out. And on that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. I got a shirt! I love shirts. Oh. Meanwhile, in Ul'dah. Oh no, what's going on in Ul'dah? As the final days reached Ul'dah.
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allegan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must. Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials.
Oh, the music.
There, guys. we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins, and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the Stone Torches, my son Zimberk will personally see it done.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults.
Oh, the music!
Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it. The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now.
Yay.
Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
Nanamo! Hell yeah. Okay, good. I was very anxious when the music started. Meanwhile, in the Black Shroud. Rabble, 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 rabble. Stop it with the ominous music, babe!
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses. Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
Got to see his eyes a little bit under his bangs. Yeah! Hell yeah!
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Our deficiency so plain to see.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the Scions assigned to the Shroud. I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Hell yeah.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
Meanwhile, in Corthus.
There you are. We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already...
Oh!
was a roar. A dragon's roar.
Chris Vulgar? Meanwhile, in the Ruby Sea.
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honourable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid. Is that?
Hancock? What a
Saruman!
surprise this is. And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
Everything's coming together. Ah, music's so good. I'm confident that even the deadliest of Allagan defense mechanisms are no match for our allies. At this rate, some of them might soon have as many accomplishments to their name as a certain one. Okay, so yeah. New top. You know what? Honestly, I don't hate this. I don't hate the look of this. You know what? I'll keep it. Okay, Alphino, what's up? Oh, yes. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? You've already done more than enough. If I had to say, though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about Allagan technology. Graha! Help us out here. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than the average scholar. If only Master Kokol knew how right he was. Well, he and Graha establish a report. Why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement, but I propose this not to curry favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logistics of traversing the Great Expanse, and if nothing else, at least twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Yeah! I'm gonna put away my umbrella just so I can... so I can friggin' punch my fists. Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlie and Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types, busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. Pah! That lot needs all the help they can get. Well then, off we go. My Graha. I shall endeavor to provide Master Kokol with whatever information he should require. I'll admit, without refined adamantite, I ain't got a bloody clue how else I could get the ether burner performing any better. If you lot don't come up with the goods, we're bugging. We'll be able to attune to this aetherite here. What a quaint little settlement this is. A shame it is hidden underground. In order to protect the secrets of the Central Circuit, the researchers must navigate a bewildering maze of paperwork before they are permitted to return to the surface. I suppose it's no different than any other aspect of Charlene society. We do love our bureaucracy. It's very much a mirror of the city above, which is perhaps how it came to be called Charlene Hamlet. From what I can tell, can I? Okay. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Scholar Monteshane mentioned. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. I meant to talk to the others. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention to above our head. Let's meet by the aetherite once our work is done. Frick! I feel bad now. Hello. Excuse me, sir. I couldn't help but notice that you have a way about you that simply screams, I have an affinity for creatures of the wilds. And since I'm never wrong about such things, might I trouble you? What's up? You see, amongst the troops of trolls living in the outer circuit, I came upon one who was sick beyond measure. I took the poor creature in at once and saw him healed, of course, but when I attempted to return him to his rightful home, he flew into a panic, as if he could not bear the thought of going back. To make matters worse, the troll saw fit to escape into a den of Analas. I would go after him, but I'm so fumble-footed I'll scare him off like as not, and be tormented for my pains by the fiends. So I turn to you. Would you seek out this troll of which I spoke? I shall provide you with his favorite food, and with it you should be able to calm the piteous thing. Hopefully that will be enough to see his senses restored and for him to come hurrying back. And, though I shudder to think of it, if any of those fell Analas seek to impede you or pester that troll, make those beasts regret their interference. Oh, and don't worry, you will be rewarded for your efforts. Okay. Bum-ba-da-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum. Ooh. That is a name right there. Ooh. Alright. Hello, Wayward Troll. I'ma help you, but also, help me out, Kane. Here you go, buddy. Have some ripe fruit. No troll can resist a fruit this ripe, in more than one way, according to your olfactory senses. Here you go, buddy. Have some fruit. Mwah! Looks like a Muppet. And again, what's Sid doing in all this, during all this? I don't think I've heard from him in a long while. I feel like he would be a big help in all this too, you know? Grr. Look, he's returned. I can't thank you enough. I know they may not look it, but trolls are really quite intelligent. Indeed, they are an intrinsic part of the woodlands of Labyrinthos and keep it healthy and thriving. Though we've a responsibility to put down the more violent and unruly ones. Most trolls, such as this one, are kind, docile things. In fact, my friend here has a real chance of becoming leader of his tribe, perhaps even guardian of the forest someday. It is we who saw these creatures removed from their natural habitats and relocated them within Labyrinthos. Thus, we've a responsibility to watch over them, to ensure they are well. It would be too cruel to dispose of one simply because they're under the weather. Yes, your reward. Here, as promised. Now then, it's high time I saw this fellow return to the outer circuit. Farewell, adventurer. Ba-da. Woo. Awesome. Alright, I did see a person over this way. Steady current. Helping with the arc. With all the power of Master Kukul's managed to squeeze out of the 8th burner, is still not enough, apparently. Now here the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we'd begun the exodus sooner. People are dying. There'll be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We've spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in the plan, and all will be well. Oh, okay. Silken Grin? Oh, Hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Yep. Working on the Aether banner. Oh dear. I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I choose that over my current duties. Checking and loading samples day in, day out. It's tiring, thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I misplace a few lagoons or what have you. The Forum's got enough on their plate as it is, what with deciding the guests to board the Ark and when. A lot of powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Fortunel and the others. Hardly get a moment's rest, I expect. Do they even have time to sleep? Offering to help. That's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. It's mostly lists of the things that we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose is our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person, after having communicated with them in such limited capacities thus far. To be perfectly honest, I've not even the slightest idea what they look like. I do hope they're not enormous looming giants. Why, I would much prefer something small and fluffy, like that beheaded rabbit that ran by. My minion's gone. What can I have in my minion? Wait, what? Oh, weird. Oh well. Oh, back by the 8th, right, that's right. Oh, it's because I had the umbrella out? The umbrella counts as a minion? Yeah, I have one of the little rabbits with me. Little naming way. Eh. Yeah. Where's everyone? Oh. Oh, there's Living Way. Oh, shoot. Orion J? It would appear the Loppers have infiltrated Charlene's most heavily guarded facility. How I know not. What joy to sample the delights of Etheris. How marvelous it is to see you again. You'll be pleased to hear I've learned much since our fascinating discussion of Karatorium. It's all thanks to Orion J, you see. He taught me the finer points of cooking, which, despite my name, I knew very little about. So many dishes, so many hard-to-pronounce words. Actually, I was rather hoping he'd show me how to bake an Archon loaf. They're quite popular, I hear, though it doesn't sound like it contains any flavor to speak of. Still, if that's the sort of thing your kind enjoys, I shall make enough to last the whole journey. Oh no! Cooking Way! Orion J! No! Poor people! Poor us when we eventually have to use it to get the frickin' median! We're gonna be full of Archon loaf! No! Oh, the horror. Growing Way. Crikey, I wasn't expecting to see you here, Shent. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to say goodbye, and for, having those other Lopperites attack you. Terrible misunderstanding, that. Not to worry, though, as all have since recovered from the rather savage beating you administered. They bear you no ill will. Well, perhaps little, on account of the savagery. But time heals all wounds. Most, anyway. Oh my god, I feel so bad! Honestly, not really. They very much annoyed me at the end there, so... Hey, Living Way. Fancy meeting you here, Shent. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny toy boat. which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is Ethos itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of funny, underground, miniaturized version of it. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare, and they're still not ready. I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves about. Or at least that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon Euron and your good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest? Won't that be fun? Okay. If you're too busy to show us the sights, we'll find other ways to keep ourselves amused. Don't you worry. Alright. Ooh, I'll get pants. Tries he might, Jay cannot free himself of the Loporits. Tour the Labyrinthos. Unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this artificial environs and Bestway's burrow, it would be in our best interest to have the Loporits acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Charlian collaborators. Fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing them rather than broadening their perspective. Might thou art better suited to lead this venture? What a marvelous idea! Might we begin with that great big what's-it over there yonder? Ah yes, the what's-it. I shall leave its explanation to Shent. Thanks, Uriache. I appreciate it. This is all very interesting, I'm sure, but where are the food preparation stations? The, what was the word for it? Kitchens? That reminds me, Puddingway, our newly appointed Chief of Pudding Research, discipline he himself founded after sampling Jay's delights, has gone in search of Ethos's ultimate sweet treat. Well, provided it's a pudding. As that's all he ever talks about these days. Have you seen him? I have not seen Puddingway. My word, what a magnificent architecture! Such immaculate curvature! I'll have to make several adjustments to my work if I'm to match this degree of craftsmanship. I shall leave no corner unrounded. Considering Singing Way and Growing Way's specialties, I expect them to pay full attention to your explanations, which I am sure will be most informative. The Loporits' technical expertise doth far outstrip our own. It would be wise to allow them to form their own conclusions as to the function of the various apparatus, rather than offer uninformed suppositions of our own. Unless that is, unbeknownst to me, thou art possessed of a surpassing knowledge concerning the construction and operation of advanced Charlian... what's-its? Goodness me, to build something so large without creation magics is positively stupendous! Perhaps he can direct our attention to its most important features? Search the apparatus for points of potential interest. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out, target an area, and inspect it with that. Spawn ambistoma, an especially lively one at that. It would appear that the concept you observed in another time, another place, was approved for life in the wider world. Somehow. Thanks. Still hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. Ah, this must be for purifying water drawn up from below. Is that water I hear from inside that great big tube? It must be because of those cogs in that gigantic wheel at the top. Oh, I see. That's how they draw up the water. That's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it, too. Mushroom-like thing. That looks like the tree in Greatest Enzavale. Hold on. That's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so imbalanced, too. Now it makes sense. That's where they store the water. Oh, was that everything? I guess it was. Okay. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from underground, presumably from some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it. A design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install it even in the harshest of environs, for Slopperts, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is of utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that people of Etheros sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? Many settlements in Thanlin are built near an oasis. So wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear, I worry we won't be able to produce the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we'd anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order, once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual. It may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Master Alphino spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through Logisticon Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the Loppers will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid! We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Charlian Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we have to brave the untamed wilderness? A valid's concern indeed. We could not help but notice the many dangerous-looking creatures with big, nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of this settlement. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think what would have become of us. Regrettably, to many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big, nasty teeth, Loppers may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. Oh! Might I propose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to the Logisticon Alpha. For my part, I shall act as escort to the living way and cooking way. I entrust singing way and growing way to thy care. I got it. We'll have another walk. A more valid protector they could not wish for. Godspeed. A valiant, not valid, valiant. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Come along, growing way. To the water extraction, Watson. Guys, you should maybe wait up for the person that's gonna protect you. I got crane gamed again. Perhaps we could tell the local beasties we're not nearly as delicious as we might appear? I have a feeling the way forward is not as clear as we'd like. Could you go and take a look? I say, that fiend had a mind to feast on roasted loprit. Thank you so much. I really hope this water extraction Watson is worth these harrowing experiences. All part of the fun, some might say, but I'd rather not be burnt to a crisp, if it's all the same to you. It's kept moving. The building looks nice and solid, and safe. That was all very exciting, but I'd rather not do it again. Wait, how exactly were we planning to head back later? You've done well to see those two here safely. They can be a bit skittish at the best of times, so I'm pleasantly surprised they didn't run off and get themselves killed. I couldn't help notice a distinct lack of carrots along the way, or many of the other vegetables I was expecting to see, though I did catch a glimpse of some sort of bipedal tomato charging about. Must be my imagination. My friends, I bid you welcome to Logisticon Alpha. Our destination doth lie at the lift's top. Pray follow me. You'll need to use this lift should you... Yes, I want to go up to the medial circuit. Forgive me for asking, but are we any closer to the kitchens? Come to think of it, why am I even here? Atmospheric manipulators are hardly my area of expertise. You're not wrong, Cooking Way. That was terrifying, but at least the scenery was more pleasant than what's name Garlemald. As a first impression of Etheris, it was far from favorable. Onwards. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Quite literally, as in the case here. As I understand, places like the Barenthos are the exception, rather than the rule. You don't all build enormous underground living spaces like this, surely? Marvelous! Simply marvelous! So this is where the magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life, artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. You're all very lucky that Etheris just so happens to provide everything you need to thrive. Or do mankind turn out the way they are because of the available resources, I wonder? Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I can't wait to see more of it. Oh, thank you for the pants! Actually, I think I have better pants, don't I? Yeah, from the... Man, those pants didn't last long, did they? ARCN velvet bottoms, I'm aiming. Okay. I'd like to study this primitive yet nevertheless intriguing contraption a while longer, if I may. That the Charlians were able to build something of this complexity with their limited knowledge and resources is most impressive. Kingway is eager for a change of venue, or at the very least a change of Watson. This is all very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment provision facilities. In other words, where's the food? Like both the knowledge and consumables you seek may be found at Mariel Argonomics. So I imagine Singing Way and the others intend to study every conceivable facet of this apparatus. Wouldst thou be so kind as to escort our visiting culinarian? Yes, that sounds much more interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to see firsthand some of the delicacies Urian J was telling me about. Even his incredibly vivid, if a bit too verbose, descriptions cannot compare to sampling them myself. Not to mention Etheris will soon be no more, so I must learn all I can while there is still time. Let us brook no further delay. It would appear I have inadvertently taken upon myself the more demanding duty, entertaining 3 inquisitive Loperas to thy 1. Yet be that as it may, it will be my pleasure to impart what little knowledge I possess to our would-be saviors. That, okay, so nothing much else. No, I didn't mean to click on you again, bro. I want to see anyway. I should like to study this print of, yeah, okay, no. Pardon me, my goodness. This is the place, yes? The heady aroma was enough to guide me here, and I've spotted several of the fruit and vegetables featured in our compendium. I'd dearly love to try some, but I hear that those who help themselves to a farmer's crop without permission are often caught and put into pies. Perhaps you could ask whoever's in charge if they would be willing to part with a few samples? Sure. We're gonna travel with Cooking Way? Nice. I have Cooking Way and Naming Way. Hey, Jep. What a fine mess this is. Ah, it's you. One who climbed down the mine shaft. I'd show you around if I could, but I'm rushed off my feet preparing for the Exodus. I'm not the only one. We've all got to find ways to do what we do down here, up there. First on the moon, then on whichever star the Forum decides will best become our new home. It's all so sudden, so unreal. Don't you want to go to the moon? Well, it's better than waiting for the final days to claim us. But no matter how carefully it's all planned, we'll never be able to take every variety of flora and fauna with us. Even the ones we can take may not survive in this new environment. So many species doomed to extinction. Sorry, that's not what you came to talk about, is it? Nothing quite so dire, I assure you. We merely wish to sample a little of your produce, if we may. By all means, help yourself. Much appreciated, my good fellow. So where to begin? Plenty to try. Come on. Try the grapes, looks like. Oh, I know what these are. Grapes, yes? Let's see if they are as delicious as they look. So sweet, so sour. The taste is much like a ripe philosopher's carrot, and yet the texture is entirely different. The contrast between the outer skin and the fruit within is most peculiar, though far from unpleasant. Yes, I think I'll try another. Well, that's certainly given me food for thought, though in a far less visceral manner than any philosopher's carrot. But tell me, what is your opinion of grapes? I'd brave an erupting volcano for a choice bunch. Yes, they are rather Moorish, aren't they? And from what I've read, quite versatile too. Something about people stepping on them to make intoxicating beverages, as I recall? Anyway, that's enough about grapes for the time being. On to the next treat. Alright, are these apples or oranges? I can't quite tell. Apples, we'll say. Oh no, they're oranges. Okay. Orange by name, orange by nature. What came first? The fruit or the color? Who cares? Let's eat. Yes, that's... Equal parts sweet and sour, as with grapes, yet nothing alike. I may have to consult with Urian J about expanding my vocabulary. I simply cannot find the words to describe it. Perhaps what I'm looking for is bitter. This is all very complicated, you know. So many flavors, so many choices, and each individual with their own personal preferences. Now I see why you all turn your noses up at the idea of eating nothing but carrots, marvelous though they still are in my estimation. Let no one say I said otherwise. Ah, but speaking of carrots, I've yet to sample any of the vegetables. Let's see what's in that field over there. Okie doke. Looks like very gourds, pumpkins maybe? Yeah, these are pumpkins. The color, the texture. Are they some sort of enormous round carrot? No, in any case, proper nomenclature is less of a concern than the taste. Blech! It's so hard and flavorless. I may as well be chewing a piece of wood. It all but confirms it. There are nothing more than misbegotten failures masquerading as goodly carrots. Stop, stop, stop! Can't you see these are pumpkins? And no one with any sense would try eating them raw. You're supposed to cook them first. Do you not find it an awful bother? Far from it. Cooking is a joy unto itself. And what's more, it broadens the range of ingredients that we may safely eat. But above all else, cooking allows us to draw out the full potential of our produce. Pumpkin stew has been one of my favorite dishes for as long as I can remember. Then perhaps even these hard blocks of plant matter can become as delicious as the orange I sampled. I wonder, though, if there's anything even more delicious. How about that yellow fruit over yonder? Yellow fruit? Is it a lemon? Oh, let it be a lemon. Okay. What a wonderful fragrance! With luck, it'll have a flavor to match. As I have no idea how these are eaten, I'll just bite into it. My tongue, is this poison? Is a lemon. A lemon? You mean it's supposed to taste like this? How can something so similar to an orange be so revolting? Ugh. Maybe sometime before my palate recovers from this ordeal, As such, I had best call an end to this round of sampling. Let's say our farewells and return to the others. But it has put the idea of cooking and cooking ways. Finished, have you? I trust you found something to your liking. Rather enamored with the grapes and oranges. Less so the pumpkin, though I learned the hard way they're not to be eaten raw. Then there was the lemon, the deceiver. I still feel so violated. First time, was it? I'd hate for you to leave with a bad taste in your mouth, in more ways than one. So I'll give you this lemon muffin I baked. If this doesn't change your opinion, nothing will. More lemon? Have I not suffered enough? Nevertheless, I would be remiss of me to spurn this opportunity to... Oof. What if sick came up there? Oh! TMI, cooking way. TMI. Learn more of your inscrutable ways. Farewell, lemon muffin. Do your worst. This is delicious! Although I still detect a hint of lemon, it complements the sweetness of the dough to create a perfect harmony. I never would have guessed this vile bitterness could be utilized so elegantly. My good chap, this is simply breathtaking. See, we rarely use lemon in its natural state, but it has a starring role in all sorts of recipes, and the same is true for many other ingredients. It comes down to making the most of the resources at your disposal, and sometimes that can even be the difference between life and death. I know we won't be able to take every species with us. No doubt the Forum agonized over what was worth preserving, and what will be consigned to history. Hard choices, but make them we must if we're to survive. Such strength of will. Now I know what Heidelin sees in your kind. Mankind. The Loprits. They were both born from the accumulated knowledge of the ancients. They learned all there is to learn about the nature of sentient life, and the fates of the stars themselves. Once a civilization has fulfilled the basic requirements for survival, it will inevitably seek to eliminate all forms of negativity and achieve perfection. And therein lies its folly, and its downfall. For perfection is an unattainable ideal. 'Tis the paradox of the immaculate carrot. Yet civilizations since time immemorial have deemed the pursuit of perfection as progress. They pay no heed to the costs incurred in their futile quest, and all too often become the architects of their own demise, their dreams forever unfulfilled. What then is the alternative? The answer lies in knowing that our existence can never be perfect, to be content with what we have and make the most of it. When life gives you lemons, make lemon muffins. Pardon my yosin, but what in the seven hells are you on about? And who are you anyway? Cooking way at your service. I'm here to help prepare for the trip to the moon. And once you get there, you'll be able to try my carrots. I've been growing all different kinds. But don't worry, there'll be room for your crops too. We'll work together to preserve as many of Etheris' species as possible, if you're up to the challenge. Yes, of course. I look forward to it. Well, this has all been highly productive. Probably. Let's go and see if Uranger and the others have run out of machinery to inspect, shall we? So long. fate. Oh god. Steamy Samantha? Ah. That's a name. By Cookingway's broad grin, I assume your excursion was a roaring success. Oh, there you are. Oh, have you finished talking about rain-making wansits yet? Not to rub it in, but we had the most fantastic time while you were away. J was able to obtain all manner of meteorological data for us to pore over. I'll be sure to put my newfound knowledge to good use once we return to the moon. It is my duty to make your journey as comfortable as possible, though there's no telling how long it will be. 100 years? 1,000? Probably closer to 5,000, give or take. Where have you and Cookingway been? If the two of you were engaged in pursuits of an educational nature, you should have taken me too. I am the leader, after all. That was most enlightening, especially the part with the lemon muffin. Actually, I was wondering, do you know of any other places famed for their cuisine? Limbs of the Mince is home to the Culinarians Guild, many less than savory establishments. With I had time to visit. The more I learn of Ethris, the more I wish we could spare it from the final days. Alas, Hydaelyn's orders are to flee, not to resist. If only there was some other way. Muffins. I wonder if this is how Puddingway felt the first time J made pudding. Though I'm not sure that exactly was pudding, come to think of it. Something about it seemed a bit off. Shoes! J appears to be tallying the lockets in preparation for an imminent departure. Shan't I trust thy time in Marial Ergonomics did bear fruit? Haha. Our own efforts too were rewarded. We now possess an embarrassment of educational riches. No doubt our guests' relentless pursuit of knowledge could occupy them and us for a fortnight. Alas, time is of the essence. Let us return to Charlene Hamlet forthwith. I shall gladly attend to each and every loppert here, should further questions within my power to answer arise. You okay? Aww. Yes, go to the Hamlet. Been running all this time, my goodness. Why did I not ask Jeff how to make carrot muffins? We could have had baked goods bursting with happiness. Next time. Oh no, there was nowhere in particular I was hoping to go. I simply wish to see, hear, feel, and think as much as I possibly can while we're here. What does that look for? What did I say? That was ever so delightful, and with this much information I can fine-tune the moon's environs for your people's comfort. It's surprisingly tricky to estimate the appropriate temperature settings for being so lacking in fur. Oh, I meant to talk to your J. Oh well. What's the matter, bud? Yes, Shent, that was indeed my verbalizing aside to express my emotional state. Do you want to know why? Because I saw the reconstructed environmental data of Ethris at Logisticon Alpha, that's why. A forest so lovely and so leafy. Are all of your forests like that? Verdant, at least. The trees of Dravania stand particularly proud. See the forests of the first. One was purple. Black Shroud is quite leafy indeed, and a place of utmost tranquility. You should see the forests of the first. One was purple. All kinds. I say, with a star so wonderful, it comes as no surprise that you're reluctant to leave it behind. I was a fool to think otherwise, to assume that the moon was something worth being proud of. It's still worth being proud of, bud. How ridiculous we must seem to you, trying so hard yet achieving so little. Not at all. Thy work are no less worthy than their uniqueness. I thought I heard tiny voices. Hey, Thancred. How didst thou fare? Oh, I was able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move their cargo. Preparations have proceeded without interruption here, despite news of the coming end. You have the Forum's leadership to thank for that. That doesn't mean people aren't worried, though. Quite the opposite. Knowing disaster could strike at any moment, they hurry to complete their work, equally aware that a single error could be the difference between life and death. And we can hardly tell them there's no cause for concern. Perhaps not. Though aided by our goodly growing way, we may yet find our other ways to lighten their burden. Me? Be of use to people? I'm honored that you would think me so capable, but I'm not sure that I'm up to the challenge. Nevertheless, I believe in thee. If you say so, I suppose it can't hurt to try. I passed someone moping in the Western Plaza that looked to be in need of a helping paw. Perhaps you might start with him. Tis as good a place as any. Come. You best go with them. I don't think Orange misjudged him, but Growingway does look like he could use some emotional support. I still have work to complete elsewhere. I trust that I won't return to find any Lockridges in tears. Oh, I hope not. That's so sad to think about. Oh, can I help you? What's the matter? Everything alright? It is you who would help me? Is my anxiety truly so obvious? A burden shared is a burden eased. Pray, tell us of thy troubles. Those little fellows do look like good listeners. I'm an engineer, you see. And what they say of the ship, that is the sum of decades of Charlian ingenuity that is built with these peerless, elegant technology. It's all true, but I know that none of that's a guarantee. We've never before launched a starfaring vessel, let alone flown it in the great expanse. All the tests we've run have been on the ground. Only operational personnel and cargo will be aboard for the first voyage, but even so, if it fails us, then what can we do? And if it doesn't, it could fall apart on the next flight, or the one after that. We've done everything we can to prevent that from happening, but it hardly matters. We thought the Aether Burner's design was flawless too, and look how that turned out. Thou art familiar with these most daunting technologies, and thus dost thou hold the power to allay his fears. Oh, I'm not sure about that, but, well... Maybe you could tell me if there are any aspects of the ship's design that you're especially worried about? Our ability to walk about and perform our tasks, for one. I devised a means by which to employ gravity, a spatio-temporal spell to regulate the environment, but what if it's not strong enough? What if everyone floats away and begins crashing into things as soon as we've left the star? Aha! Gravitation! Maybe I can be of help after all! Up there is not so different from down here, you see. The same rules apply, and if you consider them as part of one great big cosmos rather than separate places... I suspect both parties shall find comfort in this conversation. Yet if Thancred's tale be true, still others would benefit from insights born of experience. Might I prevail upon the Loporits to attend them? An excellent idea, if I do say so myself. There is naught we'd like more than to ease the hearts of the fine people of Etheris, and learn more about them while we're at it. They can be cute. Full glad am I to hear it. Gather thy companions and bring them hither. Shent, thou hast a gift for finding souls in need of succor. Pray seek thee out the distressed and apprehensive, and inform them that help is at hand. I shall await them here, that I might introduce each to a suitable Loporit. Sure, I got this. Oh, I do so look forward to that. A place for every Loporit, and every Loporit in their place. Still chatting. Alrighty, I think this is as good a place as any to call it, I think. Oh, stretch. I need to get going a little bit earlier than normal just so that I can... Oh, stretch, goodness. Get ready for work. It is my Friday. But I also have to get some things done around here, I'm sorry to say. Though we will pick this back up next time. As we get people ready for the big takeoff. And hopefully we can get more of the Allegan artifacts and sacred treasures from Ishgard? We'll see. But for now, thank y'all once again. Thank you, Lucian, for stopping by and chatting. Thank you. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your evening, whichever it may be. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.